Am I the asshole for not giving my late husband's mom any of the life insurance money after she paid for his funeral? Everyone sucks. My first and hopefully last throwaway account. My husband and I were both in our early 40s, married for 6 years, when he passed away suddenly a few months ago. It's been the hardest thing I've ever faced, and honestly, I've just been trying to survive each day since. Right after he died, his mom stepped in and insisted on paying for all the funeral expenses. I was completely out of it, just in a fog, and really grateful for the help. Here's the thing. I totally forgot that my husband had a small life insurance policy through my job. I only remembered it recently and filed a claim, getting a payout. It's not a huge amount of money, but enough to help me move back across the country to be with my family and maybe put something down on a modest home so I can start over. When my in-law found out about the insurance payout, she flipped out. She's demanding I pay her back for the funeral costs and accusing me of using her son. She said some really hurtful things, calling me selfish and implying I'm somehow profiting off his death. But she offered to pay for the funeral, and I truly didn't know about the insurance money at the time. I'm still so broken over losing him, and the thought of being called heartless just adds to the pain. I know she's grieving too, but I'm trying to do what's best for me to heal and move forward. So, am I the asshole if I don't give her the money? I'm already barely holding it together and just need a chance to rebuild my life. I'm ready, I hope, to handle the criticism that may be coming my way. I had a co-worker we will call AL who was a barely functioning alcoholic. We worked landscaping and management didn't care about anything besides the work getting done. Our crew would go from location to location, often with long drives in between. AL would ask the driver to stop at a gas station literally every single time we had to go to a new location. The purpose of this stop was always the same, to acquire a 4-pack of Natty Lights. One day I suggested that instead of stopping 10 times a day, why didn't he just buy a case and put them in the cooler, since none of us on the crew cared or would steal them? Unfortunately, he took my advice, but the reason he had done it the other way soon became clear. Some part of him had known that lack of access was the only way he could limit his intake. The next day he brought a 12-pack. It was gone just as fast as his first 4-pack usually was. He asked to stop and the driver did, but AL didn't get a 4-pack, he got another 12. Again gone as quick as if it was 4. Then it was our lunch break. We stopped like we do every day. Another 12. To wrap the story up, I have a video on my phone of him fighting another employee in a Publix parking lot. They were both fired and AL's life spiraled. Mind your business, kids. Make your money and go home. I'm aware his choices were his own and not my fault. I still regret saying anything. Me and my husband have 3 young kids, 4, 3, and 1, and are being shunned by my family. My parents have always struggled financially. For the past 4 years, we've been paying my mom to watch our kids about 8 hours a week while we work. Recently, my parents' car broke down, and they were down to one vehicle between them, my 18-year-old sister and my parents. My husband and I offered to loan them a few $1,000s to help buy a new car, on the condition that they continue watching our kids. My brother works at a car dealership, and a few days later he found a car that would work. Unfortunately, I was recently rear-ended in a car accident and totaled my own vehicle, injuring myself in the process. Due to the injuries, I was taken off work and filed a workman's compensation claim. At this point, we were unsure how long I'd be out of work, but we knew it would be at least a month. When my brother asked for the money for my parents' car, I told him that we couldn't afford it at the moment. Given that we just lost our vehicle and were waiting to see if workman's comp would cover my wages, I suggested if all of us siblings pitched in, it would be easier. No one asked how I was doing after the accident. Instead, my brother was upset and said it was wrong of us to offer help and then take it back. He then got my sister involved, who expressed the same sentiment. My brother also said he couldn't help because he was behind on his mortgage and had over $30,000 in credit card debt due to frivolous spending, including Vegas trips and luxury items. My sister, who just bought an expensive home she knew she couldn't afford, said she couldn't help either. She and her husband are struggling to cover their mortgage and expenses. Eventually, my sister and I both contributed to help buy the car. but my brother still won't talk to me. My parents were aware of everything and refused to get involved. Now my kids are hurt because my niece and nephew aren't speaking to them. Today was my sister's baby's first birthday, and my family wasn't invited. My son overheard me venting to my mom and asked why he wasn't invited, which made me feel terrible for letting him hear it. I've always made an effort to keep the kids out of family drama, even when my brother and I have fought in the past. I always acknowledged their birthdays and sent gifts, but now my own son is hurt by his cousin's rejection. I'm questioning if I was wrong to ask for more time to provide the money for my parents' car. My brother and sister have always felt entitled to my money and time, but now that I have my own family, I feel they should respect that. I did call out my brother for his behavior and told him he was too old for this kind of drama. Ultimately, my kids are the ones suffering from this shunning. Am I the asshole for asking for more time to contribute to the car? Or was I wrong to prioritize my family's financial security during a difficult time? Am I the asshole for removing my name from a mortgage to leave my family and not provide them with financial support? Not the a-hole. I'm the eldest son of South Asian parents who moved to the West before I was born. Despite financial strain, they sent money abroad to support their families. Religion was core to their lives, and when I tried to step away from it, they labeled me as delusional. As a teenager, I struggled with depression, and my lecturers reached out to my parents, hoping I'd get help. On the way to the doctor, my dad dismissed my struggles, saying I was weak and had never faced real hardship like those in third world countries. My mom suggested I just talk to her, so I downplayed my feelings to the doctor. I'd wanted to move away for university, but my dad insisted I stay, saying I was too young and it would upset him. Not wanting to study from home, I got a job instead and was asked to start contributing to the household bills right away. I have 2 older sisters and a younger brother. My oldest sister and I are the primary earners, while my second oldest sister quit her job and isn't on the mortgage. My dad works part-time due to back pain and has a lot of debt, while my mom is a stay-at-home mom. Although I try to support her emotionally, she insists she's happy with her life. Eventually, I received a promotion and got a new job with private health care, which allowed me to access a therapist who helped me recover. Still, when I confided in my family, I was judged and made to feel weak. After another promotion, I decided it was time to move out. My family initially supported my mortgage, but later turned against me, pressuring me to buy a house with my oldest sister, tying me down financially. When my second oldest sister quit her job, nearly my whole salary went toward household expenses, and I took on £10,000 in debt for renovations. With only 2 earners at the time, I was told to deal with it as the oldest son. My dad's limited income went mostly to his own debt, and he expects us to support him in retirement. My younger brother, now in university, doesn't contribute much financially, though my second oldest sister's new job has relieved some pressure. Still, I'm left with a £10,000 debt for a house I didn't want. My parents also disapprove of my girlfriend because she's from a different background and isn't religious. They've even said they won't meet her for years. That was the tipping point for me. I told them I'd sell my share of the mortgage to a family member, reclaim my contributions, and move out. The bank approved, but my dad called me selfish and ridiculous, fearing they'd be left without a backup if my sisters decide to move out too. After supporting my family financially for so long, I feel it's time to prioritize my well-being. Once I've paid off my debt and the mortgage is off my name, I plan to move out. Am I the asshole here? The bank approving of me selling my share was for selling my share to my sister, who is the joint owner on the current mortgage, if she agrees. I said selling to a family member and not specifically her, in case my other sister wanted to buy my share of the house. The bank has approved of a remortgage without penalties as long as the new mortgage is with the same bank.